map pick of WINSTRIKE. A little bit of a change from what we've seen before. And maybe, just maybe, they will make it work. At least get a first map going, get an aggression going on that CT side. The T side, they've always been quite dominant, so that's not really a scary point for them.
Oh, absolutely, and we'll see. It's the knife round to start things off at first, and with that you can see if, well, at least that side advantage is going to be there. Maybe we'll see another upset pick, you know, maybe we'll see another team deciding to go on the T side instead of the CT side, but I kind of doubt it. And the knife round, the way it starts, it already looks to be a bit in favor for WINSTRIKE, but the frags actually fly around, and in the end, it is Heretics taking the upper hand as Nickelback goes down, and Heretics now, they can very likely start on that CT side.
And that means that most likely they will have that slight advantage, and of course they won't be as able to, well, contest the pace. It's going to be WINSTRIKE trying to at least put some pressure down, but it also depends on Heretics trying to build some economy for themselves. Of course, they have that AWP on towards either Mecha or Nivera, sometimes even Lucky if he feels like a wild man. We're going to see how it happens. First at CT side, they will play the normal way as you normally expect them to.
And the normal way is perhaps the best way to put it. But of course, first going into that pistol round, we'll see now. Maybe it's WINSTRIKE with a little bit of utility and Glocks, as you've often called them, going to really show up with those. But right now, I'm still banking on Heretics. Those USBs are lovely for putting in some really good taps. And I'd say the Heretics players have enough talent to do that.
Well, it's going to be Lucky standing by for an A execute to come in. 4 players, however, from the Heretic side already standing by. There's going to be that execute now coming in. Smokes, of course, being thrown out. There will be player 7, which will be Lucky with opening frag, but Lucky from the triple stack gets 2 in return. 2 headshots and still a player in Shadow, which is Kyoshima. Gets another frag. And Lucky now slightly contested. He loses yet another teammate. It's still a player advantage in favor of Heretics, but as XMS peeks down from CT, there might be a troubling side coming in for the Heretics members. Lucky to be wallbanked as well by Bondik upgrading to the USB. Now only Nivera is alive and he will be tagged up as well. The bomb, however, still not picked up, still not planted, but look at the time. There's still 1 minute left and he will go down to Bondik as well. It's a very good comeback in this, well, almost unfavored round from the get-go.
Are you absolutely correct? I mean, Heretics somehow had the good read on that situation. They had 4 men dedicated to that A-bomb side before the hit comes down, and WINSTRIKE able to stabilize thanks to Bondik and his triple kill. So the best way for them to start. Heretics with the read, but not with the kills.
And the big thing is that WINSTRIKE as well played Mirage yesterday with an A-take. And you saw Team Secret play a or at least a retake A-hold. That's going to be quite hard, and it didn't work out. And Heretic says, well, retake A doesn't work, we'll just put a very big stack on there and see how it works. We'll just have 1 player on towards B, and otherwise we'll play retake B. We can do that. But now they have to force buy because they've lost a round.
Retakes are always tough to play out, I find, you know, especially, well, depending on the site. Mirage doesn't have, you know, the worst time on it. I'd say Inferno is a worse map for that, but it's still a nasty situation to find yourself in. And here it also starts out a little bit nasty for for Heretics. WINSTRIKE takes out XMS. Lucky here gets fragged out. Nivera in the meantime goes down to Lucky's Maka 10. And we see a refrag coming in eventually by the hands of Maka. But still, the bomb is already down, and the HP is dramatically low on the Heretic side.
Kyoshima and Mecha most likely to save their weapons for this round. Of course, Mecha not having the armor as he wants to save for the AWP later. So going towards stairs and will be spotted out by a Lion. Clean taps to come in. And now only Kyoshima with a scout and a frag grenade remaining. Not the best weaponry, but at least you can deal some damage in the next round rather than now running in, dying, and giving WINSTRIKE possibly another $600 on towards Gritton with the Mac 10.
Absolutely, and we'll see if that scout can come in clutch. Of course, the rest of the team, I don't expect them to force that out in the 3rd round, but maybe they will try something inventive around it.
That only happens with CIS teams.
True.
The classic.
True.
It's going to be indeed only that scout and some USBs to back it up. And then you dare to say, possibly put that scout in towards the mid window and have the USBs push. You can have a little bit of a support role. Of course, there will be flashes coming in, but just play 2 people looking to the front, 2 players looking to the back, and then you'll always be ready to fight when you can. 4 players with the USBs actually go towards the A side. They're banking on WINSTRIKE once more, coming towards ramp.
Let's see if that happens this time around, but it doesn't quite look like it, as that mid control is, well, being attempted to be grabbed by WINSTRIKE, and so far they seem to be pretty successful. No player in window. Molly, or well, Resmoke actually to make sure that position stays covered. And Lackey now actually pushing through connector. This could become vital. Should be some intel here, and maybe, just maybe, losing Black, although it doesn't quite look like it because the turnaround is too good. Bonding comes in from Palace. Frags out one player, but actually, surprisingly enough, Lucky really showing up once again. And that makes it the 3v3. Something where I wouldn't have predicted that it was going to be so close, turn so much in the favor. XMS can also upgrade to, I believe, a weapon now if he looks, and indeed there goes the MAC-10 into his hands. Whilst Nickelback fakes out a defuse, a little bit to the left of default.
And the big thing was on that play where Maka should have had a frag, we can all agree on that one.
Yeah.
Having that player on towards the ticket booth, first trying to contest a push from connector. Then they'll most likely be tunnel visioning. There is a smoke towards jungle, so no real pressure can be put down from there. And Maka just stood by, didn't get spotted out, but then panic sprayed like every one of us would. And then eventually died to the hands of, I believe, Lackey, only to be, well, refragged by Nivera. Still, an AK saved. A scout as well towards Kiyoshima, not the best weaponry, but at least it's something. That AK they will keep, the scout they might drop.
XMS might even stay with the MAC-10 that he currently has if he plays in a forward position, just like he could in A round, for example. Looking forward to seeing if they're going to upgrade. In any case, a decent attempt, not able to connect onto a Lion. That would have been a great bonus. Also put some pressure on WINSTRIKE now. As you said, there's the AK. We see the Scout has been upgraded, so there's going to be a full investment. Maka is able to field in the AWP, and it's a full rifle party coming out of WINSTRIKE for this first gun round of the first map of the grand final.
I do wonder though, you know, like at least, and maybe to immediately throw it back to you, do you think if you see WINSTRIKE getting these first 3 rounds, well, what does that make you feel? Do you think, oh no, this is already going bad, or?
Well, I think Lucky is going pretty bad right now, and Lucky with another one. Great job entering. Kiyoshima is going to do his best to stabilize the situation. Maka with the AWP connects onto a line. 3 versus 3. Quite hectic, but it works.
So far, let's see. It's again that 3v3 situation, you know. WINSTRIKE did manage to turn that into their favor in one of the previous rounds. And Bonding here, he gets, I believe that was a dink there coming in.
Yes, indeed. It was a drive-by dink coming in from CT as the bomb and one of his friends is moving towards the B side. Look at this over-rotate coming down from Heretics. They're expecting it to be possibly A. But Maka still stood by and took down one player crossing through the B apps. Nickelback with bomb on his back is trying to move in towards the B side. Of course, he knows he's under pressure. Nivera peeks in, gets yet another frag, leaving only Bombnik alive, of course, with low HP as he was dinged from quite far away. And Maka once more holding the angle, expecting the player to possibly still be close because they know where he was. And this should be the first round for Heretics, despite being 2 men down at a certain point.
Yeah, I am very confused. I feel like WINSTRIKE did not expect Lion to have such success with his entries towards the 8th round because everyone else was spread across the map, so they couldn't really push on their advantage together. They try and push it, they try and force it, but they were very disjointed. We saw Kiyoshima able to get a kill onto the A side, Maka grabbing one from Catwalk, so that's a missed opportunity if I've ever seen one now. It's only Bondik with 16 HP. I wouldn't even be surprised to see him save, honestly.
There's a very big chance because you have a Lion and Nickelback with more than enough money to buy. Then Chrisen and Lackey, both a little bit on the poorer side, but still you can make a decent buy of it and try to keep tabs on the economy of your opponents. Bondik actually standing with a Glock in his hand, looking at this beautiful wall. Look at those textures. As there will be a player slowly moving in to hunt. Of course, there's a little bit of an off angle being hidden just by the wall, but he will be spotted out.
Oh no.
That's sloppy. Now he doesn't get money, he doesn't keep the AK in armor, and that's why I'm a little bit concerned. Him holding a Glock, looking at the wall as well.
That was just a shame. You can see once again how it started off so well for WINSTRIKE, you know. Look at this, Lackey completely opens up that side, but then he gets caught out with a molly in his hand. And there was a good opportunity there, but indeed, as you put it, Maniac, you know, the pressure wasn't there from the rest of the team, and that didn't give them the chance to actually take that A-bomb side.
It felt as if they were trying to test out how the CT side would run for the Heretics members, and they were playing it a little bit like a pug. Everyone just rush somewhere and see what you can get, and, well, you get 2 opening kills. Yet then you're solo, and you will be taken down. The Lion now with a frag on towards Nivera, gets the opener on towards B. There's a player on towards short, but Maka will be taken out. The Lion already understanding what was happening, and I think already we might be expecting a save to come in from Heretics. The last round, a 3-2 fight, we were able to win due to having kills before actually the bomb went down.
We talked about Elion, we talked about his entry fragging 3rd best in the tournament so far, and the first occasion, the first opportunity he gets completely opens up the map, pretty much takes the round and offers it to his in-game leader like, hey, look, I made this for you. I'm going to give you, I made this with my own hands. I'm going to give you round number 4. You don't even need to have a tactic. Just give me an AWP, give me your love, give me your trust, and I'm going to give it to you. Good job by Elion.
I think he's really, he 3rd best entry. Maybe he's just really vying for that 2nd best spot, And Nickelback, in the meantime, also manages to take out Lucky. And, well, you've only got Kiyoshima. He's left out. He's got full armor, and he's got utility and AK, so that's nice of him to take with him. But, well, preserve really is the best way to put it, seeing as nobody actually died on the WINSTRIKE side here, and it was a clean round for them. And so far, very solid start on Mirage here. WINSTRIKE really proving that this is their map, this is their ballpark, and they don't even have to be on the CT side to play it out well.
This time again, you saw WINSTRIKE was quite spread out on towards the map. Yet, Elion, the man that was trying to open things up, was having some support. So at least whenever he had the opening kill, they could still have a favorable position player-wise. 2-2-1, possibly even 3-2-1 if the bomb carrier would join soon as well. Now we do see an eco come down from the Heretics side. They could have force bombed, yet they wouldn't have had full rifles on everyone. And with, of course, Maka needing that AWP to really bring home the goodies for the boys, they're just biding their time. Giving most likely yet another round to WINSTRIKE, trying to deal some damage, especially with the AK on Kiyoshima. It's going to be vital on where he would be positioned as Lucky. He moves up, he gets down by Maka. That should have probably been a frag. But with the Galil, it's going to be a little bit harder than with the AK. Now we do have the player advantage for Heretics.
Yeah, that Galil now going to Maka is definitely a sort of, well, leg up for Heretics that maybe WINSTRIKE didn't want to give to them. Maka, of course, is quite low HP, has to be said. So only one shot from, I think, just even any pistol, and he would still go down. But right now, it is the one-man disadvantage for the WINSTRIKE side. They've lost out Lackey, but they've still got a player like Elion. Bondik here also is really capable of opening a sight, and indeed he does. Takes out Kiyoshima first. Molly goes down, but he gets caught out with the volley in his hands. Oh. And oh lord, XMS, that's Nickelback taken out. Lucky could have recovered that, oh well, did recover that AK, but the spray down isn't quite there with it as he gets fragged out. This is a nasty situation for WINSTRIKE. Maka here, this is it.
He's waiting for them to line up, and they will. It's going to be Maka with a double kill. I do have to say, though, I believe it was Lucky in towards Palace, slightly over-aggressing. He was, of course, trying to bide some time for the rest of his team and hope that WINSTRIKE would eventually go for the push. But if he just held on a little bit longer, then Maka would have still been in that fight. He would still be preoccupied with his position and, of course, a player coming from either connector or jungle. And that made it a little bit iffy. This could have been a round loss if they just moved a little bit faster on the WINSTRIKE side, but that's something we've also mentioned before. WINSTRIKE on their T side, they're usually biding their time. They're not really playing all that quickly. And that sometimes comes to hunt them with a flanker from the CT side.
And I do wonder if we're going to see those flankers come in more often from the Heretic side now. They do know that it can be quite successful, as a matter of fact. It did just get them that entire round, I'd say. But this time, maybe not so much a flanker, but just Heretics trying to hold on to that advantage now and pushing ahead to get towards the equal fighting ground. They need to get 2 more rounds, and if they get this one to start on Maka, you're getting caught out. And of course, that intel is immediately thrown back to Lackey. He knows to push, and he can frag out Maka, and that makes it a one-man disadvantage for Heretics now. I was going to say, if Heretics can hold on to that advantage and push out this round, they can probably get the next, because WINSTRIKE don't have any money left, basically. They are all out. And that would have meant Heretics getting to that equal playing field, that 4v4 score. But right now, I do worry, and I do wonder if losing Maka isn't going to be too critical of a strike WINSTRIKE has dealt to them.
Look at the stack now. Look at the stack coming out of Heretics. Ooh. So far, they're gambling on the right bomb side. Nivera has made his way from B, and he's already in ticket booth. So this could go horribly wrong, even though WINSTRIKE is 1 man ahead.
They shouldn't peek too quickly, because then you give it all away. Lucky the first rack will be traded out, but the Kiyoshima also going down quite quickly. Bomb to be dropped, 30 seconds left, and XMS he hasn't shown, and Ivera as well in towards CT. This might be disastrous for the WINSTRIKE members. XMS now trying to move, the bomb will be planted in the smoke, that's going to be hard for him. He's trying to find a free frag on a different player, however, he has to take down Lackey with the opportunity he has. Elion takes down Ivera, now he knows there will be 1 player in towards Palace, throws in an incendiary. Now has to most likely fight against the player in connector, which has an AWP. Smoke to come in, and nade as well to possibly slow things down. goes for the fake, waiting for the player in Palace still to peek, but they don't. It's going to be a little bit of a spray on towards the line, but he can't connect the shots, and he does have the defuse. He is going for the Ninja.
Oh, no.
Will he make it work?
He's gonna get
yes, Benny B, he's got the Ninja defuse. A 3-4 scoreline. I was, even at the last few seconds, I wasn't really sure if it was going to happen. The WINSTRIKE not really taking it into account.
A very good recovery by XMS. I thought he had played that clutch not to the best of his ability. I thought he had the timing to pounce and get the bomb planet. He took his time. I thought he was going to regret it, but here we have it on our screen. The Ninja defuse, the all too infamous, I stick it through the smoke and I cross, Jesus, take the wheel, and it worked out for Heretics. That's the second round that's kind of alarming for WINSTRIKE right now. They've been dropping the balls a little bit, but now comes the reaction. Lucky tried to be aggressive towards mid, but Lucky will take him out. That's now a quick 5v4 and a minute and 35 to play with. So WINSTRIKE, they can do pretty much anything they want.
I mean, to be fair, though, we have seen this one-man advantage for WINSTRIKE in the past. And, well, in the previous round, even in the end, it didn't end up working out that much. But we'll see now. Maybe it is Heretics finally showing up, finally proving that they do want to keep the fighting ground now. Bondic, though, takes at XMS, and now it is starting to look far more favorable for WINSTRIKE. 2 men ahead, and maybe it's going to be the B site this time. Not wanting to risk that A site again.
The classic CT play of we're 1 man down. We're trying to equalize the score by pushing somewhere, at least getting some map control. Doesn't work out. XMS also losing his life, but this is the second round in a row where you actually see a player dying on towards mid without having any support. First it was Maka. Of course, when his smoke dissipated, he was already maybe overstaying his welcome. And then the round after is now Lucky. Nobody playing from short, nobody playing from connector to actually help these players out. And that's a way not to refrag and most likely to lose the advantage early on. Bomb will be planted, Heretics is going for the save. They're all moving in towards Palace to sit on those comfy, well, stone benches, it seems.
Yeah, but there are cushions, aren't there?
Yeah, there are cushions, but still that doesn't really make something work a little bit better.
I think
yeah.
I disagree.
Stone is still hard, man.
Yeah, but if it's a good cushion, then it doesn't matter. Then it's still perfectly fine. Don't be so picky.
I am. I'm a princess, you know. I wear my tiara.
You're a princess,
but
a palace isn't good enough for you.
No.
Such high expectations always. But anyhow, I think that WINSTRIKE here will be pretty happy with their own expectations as they now do get that 5th round in with Bomb Explosion. And maybe with that temporary setback from Heretics, they'll now continue on. Of course, Heretics, they preserve a lot of weaponry, so they can definitely make this buy work somehow.
Well, they keep some weaponry, but they don't really have
the
the money.
the problem is
can drop
XMS
one from us, then you need to most likely drop a Deagle for XMS because, well, with him buying himself, of course, he doesn't really have much utility. Yet you might also want to preserve some money on towards Maka, being able to buy yet another AWP later on, and he will keep around 1,000. If they do lose this round, there will just be an eco to come down from Heretics. Their loss bonus is almost non-existent. They were completely reset in towards this round by WINSTRIKE. Yet, by saving those weapons, the 2 M4s and the AWP, they're still able to possibly do something in return. And the big thing is, they do also have those defuse kits, which, well, often we do see lacking.
You do like seeing them, you know. It's a very common rhyme, don't be a loser, buy a diffuser. But even if you see how... What, Maka? Okay.
It's happening again. That's the second time he had a chance to open up the score, and that's a flick and a half from Kiyoshima. Maka also would follow up on towards Nickelback, yet there's pressure now from Underpass. They have the 2-player lead. They should just fall back and play it out normally. They will always have, most likely, a 2-on-2 or 2-on-3 situation if they do aggress on towards a bomb. And so it will be just a little bit of a cheeky rotate. WINSTRIKE almost splitting up, but now expectedly going towards B and actually playing together as a unit.
And I do see, though, a heavy A-site presence, although there's some rotation positions there, so it's not the end of the world, but it is going to come down to Nivera here. He's going to be that first line of defense on the speed bomb side, and if he gets fragged out now by Bondic or Align or the Moz is going to be nasty. Yep, Maka goes down there, though. And Nivera, yep, he goes down by the hands of Align, and now it's only Kiyoshima. He's from short, but now he just gets forced out of there, and this is almost a guaranteed plant indeed. There it comes. And now, once again, we saw a 2-man advantage, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
But it's gone. It's 3v3 again.
Yeah, but the big problem was that Maka moved in on towards the market, and he may have over-aggressed, but he just didn't hit his shot once more. Nivera also maybe a little bit too antsy on his trigger finger. Normally you see players bide their time, but when they jumped out of the window, he figured he had to shoot, but he wasn't able to commit. After the first player, he may have had to peek in and possibly force it that way.
Yeah, but it all came down to that duel won by Lion versus Maka in the market. That's exactly the kill they needed, because as soon as they get that kill, the pressure is on Nivera, because no one else is going to bait for him anymore. There's going to be no pressure for any teammate whatsoever, so he cannot just play easy and have people coming from the back. He has to take the first shot because he is under a lot of pressure. So Elian, once more, saving the situation. We can argue about Maka's positioning. Did he need to take such a straight angle? Could he have played a different one? That's another question. But definitely the sniper from WINSTRIKE is making wonders. We've mentioned him. We said he needed to step up, and he's doing it massively.
The scary part was as well that Kiyoshima, he wasn't short, but he wasn't able to commit, and now once more. There will be 3 rifles saved from the previous round, and there will be an eco, of course, to go with it, because they don't have the money to once more go for that cheeky force buy. They don't have the AWP on towards Maka to possibly open up the score. Yet, Maka not really playing to the best of his ability as of yet, but it might just be a change coming in soon. We shouldn't forget this is the map pick of WINSTRIKE. They should be the better team here, because Mirage, historically, not the best French map.
Yeah, we've had our differences with Mirage over the past few years, but I feel like it's been water under the fridge, like Ricky would say. And now we're moving on to round number 10. Shout out to the Trailer Park Boys fan out there, thinking of you. Now back to Counter-Strike, WINSTRIKE after stabilizing the situation, getting ready for that A execute, and I see a distinct lack of blue points towards A. That's going to be complicated for Heretics.
It's Heretics taking the gamble, figuring we might as well just stack all our rifles on towards B and hope we can hold on. Yet they're entirely on the wrong side, and I dare to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Maniac, shouldn't you now also save those rifles once more rather than run them in? Or will you still go for a force?
It should be a save coming in right here. You could play off angles, try and take some weapons away from WINSTRIKE to force them to reinvest. Maybe you'll use your USPs to be a tad bit aggressive in the way you save, but in any case, there's absolutely no route back into the round for you. You've put all your eggs in one basket. It was the wrong one, unfortunately. That said, though, the B-bomb side had been under a lot of pressure from WINSTRIKE, so I can understand the bet. But as soon as you hear the smokes, you just know it. You drop your microphone, you drop your mouse, just drink your coffee. There's nothing else for you to do.
Just use the time to maybe have some introspection and decide, okay, let's see where this is going wrong, lads, and how can we provide some more resistance against WINSTRIKE. But indeed, it would just be a waste for them, and well, I don't even really see the exit frag positions at the very best at market, but you can see WINSTRIKE, they're falling back via Palace and Ramp, which is also really the most sensible thing to do. You know that if there's no one on the A site, they're probably going to be on that B site, so you're not going to fall back towards the B bomb side.
Yeah, and you talk about the discussion they could have and how they could fix the situation. Well, I'd say they are in quite a predicament right here, because the last gun round they lost, they actually had everything correctly. They were aggressive early on. They grabbed the 2 open kills. Then it was 30 seconds left, and everything was going well for them. So how do you fix something that's not broken? You were supposed to win that 5v3.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's so much a case for Heretics in the beginning of the rounds. I think it's more the problem that once they do have the advantage, they just lose it completely. They lose it out against someone like Lion or Lackey who can open up a site. And here now we see Lucky. There is that, the aggressiveness you literally just highlighted. Here it is again. They're pushing up on mid heavily, but they might get punished for it. Lackey AC through the smoke. He sees that player. There we go. Oh, Lackey, you absolute madman! What a lovely triple. Oh, you love to see it.
But nobody was looking in the right direction from Heretics. They're thinking, oh, there's the smoke. Smoking kills. We shouldn't really take it into account because nobody will run through it. But nobody was looking. One player busy with utility, standing a little bit too far back to actually do anything against it. One player more anti-flash, and Maka, of course, looking onto his underpass, expected to be held down, yet he wasn't. Now we do see WINSTRIKE once more just going for a B split. Nobody standing by. Nivera, of course, usually the B player. He already knows he has to save his rifle again. And again and again. That's not really the way you play it.
It's save after save, basically, and that makes it quite the negative outlook for Heretics. Of course, I think, we all did agree Mirage could definitely be WINSTRIKE's map, but there's a risk there, you are giving them one map ahead, and there is something for them there to play with, and I think we would all be very surprised to see it happen, that Heretics might lose this out, but it's a bit of a bad start for them, and there will just be a bit of extra pressure on them to turn it around in the next 2 maps.
Bondik still trying to chase it down. Of course, we shouldn't forget a WINSTRIKE in the last round stayed alive with all 5 players, so they got money for days. And as Kiyoshima accidentally taps his rifle, they now exactly know where he is. All the players moving in, it will be Lackey with a 4K. Almost the ace, but that's still a very good play from him. 8-3 in favor of the T side. And, well, WINSTRIKE, they're really stepping up. This is the odd pick that we were talking about, and it's working.
This is typically a round that hurts. This is a round that is very, very hurtful if you're an IGL, because you just came up with an idea, that triple push towards middle, and we've mentioned it, the aggression was working. And then after all putting this plan together, you've been cooking for the entire evening for your guest, and then they just trash your house. Like, he just came in and destroyed them. This is really hard, and it's going to be a great test for Heretics, and we can see the attention right here. They've given up middle. They don't want any fight. They don't want any say of this. They just say, you know what, we're going to play the bomb side, because last time we got here, we got our ass kicked. So don't want any of that bread anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to take the risk, you know, you'd rather just not really contest that anymore and play it safe on the bomb sites instead and prevent them from getting there in the first place. But even that might sometimes be challenging for Heretics. A little bit of aggression, once again, pushing through to Palace, but they won't really immediately see someone, although we do have the sort of rotation coming in now. WINSTRIKE going back via spawn, and Bondik, he's at the ready.
It wouldn't be the first time that he couldn't get a frag due to him swapping his rifle around, and that's just that little bit of a, well, tick you have every now and then, and that doesn't work out too well. Maka will go down to Bondik as he's holding the angle, yet Bondik, of course, seeing his shoulders first. Maka, being a strong man, just has a little bit too much muscle for his own good. Seeing now a 5-4. Heretics trying to hold on, yet they lose yet another player. Lucky will be able to get one in return with his AWP. Goes for it towards Ramble, trying to flick, but he can't make it work. Not really sure what angle he was holding, because of course you see the heads pop first at the bricks. And now we have a 2-on-4. Nades to come in, yet we would expect this to be yet another round for WINSTRIKE. They're slowly moving in. The nades, the smokes, everything is in place, and the plant soon to follow.
It has to be a save. It has to be a save. It's frustrating, and you on the CT side, all you want to do right now is fight. You want to, get your name in there, get stuck in, but there's nothing for Kiyoshima or Naivera to do but to accept and move on to the next round. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a very controlling WINSTRIKE we're seeing right here. They might even be about to take Kiyoshima's weapon. Naivera doing what he can with that poor FAMAS weapon. I hate profoundly to the deepest of my guts. Can we just please remove it from the game? Kiyoshima will find a kill onto Nickelback. Like, he's already chase and he'll win his duel. He's been doing that all day, every day so far. And this is typically the nightmare scenario. WINSTRIKE are completely dominating Heretics. I feel like there have been a couple of turnaround key moments early on in the half, but now they've just on cruising altitude. They've had autopilot on and everything is working well for them.
Cruise control, just scoot along and get the round wins in. And maybe even at this rate, I could see the double digits already appearing for WINSTRIKE. Yeah, and it's, well, once again, this is their map pick, right? So it is a bit their territory, but still, it gives you a certain feeling. If you can see how Heretics get really just destroyed this hard in, the beginning of this best of 5, then it gives you a bit of a worrying outlook. You start to think, okay, well, WINSTRIKE is clearly on point. And here, once again, they're grabbing that mid control, and they have it pretty much. They aren't really being contested all that much. We've got Mac here, maybe, but it's pistols versus rifles in an AWP, and I don't see that working out that well for Heretics.
Pistol armor. It's always great when you win them, yet in a score situation that you have right now, I don't think there will be too much cheering. If it's close, you'll be screaming your lungs out, and I think Maniac has done it in the past as well, just winning an eco or pistol armor and saying that they're not really that good and you are the best, and trying to at least get a mental momentum going.
I've played against Virtus.pro in Poland, and I remember about 5,000 people shouting when Pasha was killing us with P90 and we only had Glock. So sometimes you can celebrate any kill. I will never ever forget this moment. Now the hit is about to go down for WINSTRIKE, deploying all the utilities. The stack is there with a good start from Bondik, taking out XMS, adding another one. That's Lucky out of the picture, and once more, WINSTRIKE just pretty much going through the motions. They've been extremely on point. Anything they do is clean. The pace and the tempo they imprint in the round is pretty much correct. They identify the risks early on. They wait for the aggression. Once it's not here, they regather, they group up, and they do exactly what they need to do. That's going to be another clean round.
Ace?
Or could it be a Bondik ace?
Oh, yes, indeed.
That would be good.
Could actually be.
Naivera now being spotted out, and Bondik knows what to do. Give it to him, boys. As Lackey goes down, that's a karma for trying to steal the 8. And
For
Bondic
the games!
indeed
Yes,
with the
I
ace
just made like 20 euros or something.
for
Let's
the community.
Go. Yes, for the community. Yes. That's
It's okay, buddy. I also bet on the
And
ace
the
because I
mask
figured
drops.
there might just be a chance. And Bondic making it work, but that's also the scary part from the WINSTRIKE team. All of them can entry. You see a line with the AWP, even with a rifle as well, can just move in, get some frags. You see Bondic also doing the same, especially on Vertigo on towards the A side, but apparently also the A side of Mirage. It's Lackey sometimes being able to do stuff, as we saw on towards mid. And, well, Nickelback, he just always does stuff as well. You're finally happy.
Yes,
I'm so happy for
finally,
you.
I finally won something for a change. Oh, but this is a good start from Nivera. Takes out a Lion. And Nivera here, he throws it back around. Does he see that player hop over? I don't think he did.
Oh, I think he did, because you saw that scope go skiddity
Just
scoot.
the
And
little-
he's
the
biding
slight-
his time. He's waiting. He's waiting for them to come. And Kiyoshima now trying to burn him out of existence. Yet, if a kitchen is on fire, you extinguish it, as WINSTRIKE always does, because you shouldn't take the risk of your house burning down. The rest of the WINSTRIKE team has already moved towards the A side. XMS standing close by towards the ramp, as he's waiting for a player to move in, possibly to set up some utility. The player, however, Lackey, will expect him and gets a frag in return. And once more, the lead that Heretics had almost went away, but Nivera luckily able to take down Chrisen, at least get some pressure away from the B side and makes them focus on towards A themselves.
But I still worry, though. You know, I don't have that full definite trust in Heretics. Although as Maka frags out Bondic now, there's a bit of trust coming back. You know, I was going to say, see a 4v3 situation, that can still be turned around by WINSTRIKE. They've shown it in the past and they could do it again. Lackey, though, does take out Kiyoshima. It's going to be down to Lucky to take out Lackey. And 1, 2, 3. There he goes. And now it's only Nickelback left. And Maka clearly on point along with Lucky. Heretics do grab their 4th round. And, well, towards the end of the first half, it is time for them to start winning a little bit. But they're still quite a bit behind.
I mean, they could potentially make it to 5, which wouldn't be horrible, considering then you win the pace around on the D side, and then you can, you know, pick up the pace. But for Heretics, it does feel like this solution came from the double AWP. Unfortunately for them, financially speaking, this has been a crisis. This half has been horrendous. They've been losing round left and right, saving a couple of times, never really having the means, the funds to use that double AWP. That was the salvation for them. Nivera with 2, Maka with 2, and Heretics looking to make it to 5.
Going to be a little bit of a boost coming in with the AWP moving in, yet not being spotted as the smoke is in time. Very good lag shot on towards Lackey, and the USP will finish things off. Peeking again, it will be Chrisen falling, and that's a double opener coming down from, of course, the Belgian star. It's going to be Bondic, however, trying to open up things once more on towards the A side. He has been able to do it, but Lucky stands by with the AK, gets a frag from Sandwich. And that means we now have a 5-on-2 situation. Alliance with the AWP and Nickelback with the AK. I wouldn't be surprised if WINSTRIKE at this moment in time already called a save, because then they can still rebuy.
I would be a little bit
That's the
surprised.
last round. Just testing you.
I know, I figured you were just going to say, like, that would be interesting to see happen. But indeed, WINSTRIKE now.
Just play cool, play cool.
Yeah.
Just like when you sleep on the sidewalk, just, I meant to do that.
Yeah,
Just walk
just,
out.
I always save the last round, don't you?
I feel like sometimes you play these pugs and people are going in for the stats and you'll see someone just saving the bomb and you're like, are you aware that's round 15? What the hell are you doing?
Well, Alliance gets frag on towards Kiyoshima, but Nivera will be standing by, drops a bomb as well. Nickelback currently on his own lonesome adventure, gets one spray down towards XMS, and there's still 3 more players to find with 30 seconds left. 10 seconds per player. This is the first one, possibly, but the flashbang is quite alright. However, of course, Heretics won't be re-peaking anytime soon.
Where's the bomb though?
It's in
It's,
the apps, so
yeah,
I don't
the
think he
apps.
can really recover it in time and get a plant. But Nivera, he's already standing by, and he misses 2 shots. Will go down as well, but Lucky, yeah, baby, 5 to 10.
A 5 to 10 indeed. It's, well, a decent enough halftime score maybe for Heretics, although I'd kind of doubt that a little bit. You know, they won the knife round, they started on their preferred side, but still WINSTRIKE really showing that Mirage is their territory, their area, and really the place that they own. But so far, I wonder how quickly now WINSTRIKE might finish this out on that CT side.
Well, a pistol round won by WINSTRIKE could mean a short map. They've displayed a very impressive level on their T side. Again, I'm going to say I think they won some hectic situations early on in the half, which completely broke Heretics both mentally and financially. But there is no cause for alarm. This is a best of 5. That's the first map. It is also WINSTRIKE's pick. We painted a picture of Heretics being a little bit lackluster on Mirage, and so far things are going according to our expectations. If any map, I would probably give Mirage to WINSTRIKE. Then again, the specter of Overpass is not too far behind, but for Heretics, there's still time to hope. There's time to fight. Second pistol round, 5 to 10. You know, you win it, you make some money. I'm not gonna count them out quite yet.
Ooh. Well, XMS is moving. They're going for that A split quite late on. There's a defuse kit onto its Grison, as well as a smoke grenade. Now Nickelback falling back. The smokes are coming in. This is the double, whatever you called it, Maniac earlier on, and it's going to be Nickelback actually expecting some pings to come in. Good flashes from Lucky, actually very good team flashes. We've seen that many of times. But Maka actually able to get one in return. Now goes back towards the underpass position. As we said before, trying to still keep pressure on towards his opponents. He's falling back very far. Kyoshima gets one on towards Nickelback, but now they need the support from Maka as well. It was Kyoshima pushing in, and if at the same time Maka would have also put pressure down, there could have been a double frag or at least a good refrag. Lucky, able to get one in return, sees a player on towards stairs, and well, with those pistols, you can't really get a very good wallbang in. Will be Maka now coming in the perfect time. Lucky also with a refrag, and that's a pistol going in favor of Heretics. And now I can understand him playing that far back.
Again, that was the exact same situation we discussed last time on the desk. You have the pressure coming in from A, then XMS sacrificing himself as the first lurk, and then Maka striking second wave of attack, grabbing the kill, staying alive, and having impact later on down the road. So Heretics using once more the double lurkeroonie tactic, and it's working for them. 6 to 10. So step 1 in the comeback has been made, but we talked about WINSTRIKE, we talked about their ability to break their opponents in the second round. So let's see if that's going to be the case here.
A line here. He's holding from window, but the smokes are good enough. Lucky though. Ooh, could push up there and provide enough. The surprise indeed. 1D comes in. He falls back towards connector. That's clean, you know. You got your frag, you're falling back, take back your defensive positions.
They never checked the normal mid-angle. They just figured, oh, we'll just spray through the smoke. There might be a player there. And nobody ever cared. They threw the flashbang just, I believe, for the sake of it. And didn't expect the player to still be contesting from the CT side, but Lucky, he just had a time. There was no pressure at all. And now he's trying to play from the mid window. Once more to peek in, will be spotted out. This time there will be a frag in favor of Heretics, at least getting something in return. But well, WINSTRIKE at least starting off well, and now going for a little bit of a push down towards the B-apps. Getting some intel with still a player in Palace as well to possibly delay a plan to come down later on.
Indeed, right now, though, still seeing a 4v4 situation. A ramp will be the angle of approach, and it will be down to the Palace player to hold it off. That, I believe, is Bondik, if I see it well. And now we'll eventually see them push in. Indeed, utility is going to fly out. XMS here, they're all meticulously checking their angles, but XMS here does get caught out. Nivera luckily coming in, can frag Krisen. Back now this time. It wasn't Bondik. My eyesight really is terrible. Bondik, though, comes in from A-ramp, and he gets one frag. Not a second just yet, and quite quickly decides to fall back. Look at HP on Lucky and Nivera, though. That's low.
Scary low, I dare to say. Bondik
Yeah.
trying to possibly bait out a player to push in towards him. Of course, he's not expecting to win the round, yet trying to deal some damage and saving his deagle and armor. In the next round, it's still valuable. You're going on a full eco, and with this as possibly a player to be baited in, there might be some frags.
That could have gone terribly wrong for Heretics. There were a couple of duels left and right that could have decided the fate of the round. Lucky will be able to grab an unsuspecting Bondik. But as we can see, Nickelback winning his duel from Apps, the lurk happening a second or two earlier on, and that could have gone absolutely sideways. WINSTRIKE displaying already early on their CT side their ability to be proactive, their ability to be disturbing, looking for the information. These are some of the dimensions we've talked about when it comes to WINSTRIKE on their CT side. So if you're Heretics right now, this should be an absolute alarm for you. You should be aware. You've been flanked in an anti-eco. This is going to happen with weapons as well. So always make sure you cross all your T's, dot all the I's. You need someone to hold your flank, because WINSTRIKE, they'll push the envelope whenever they can.
Absolutely, and I think we might see that advantage or that pushing coming in the later round. Right now, though, it's pretty much an eco, really. The Eagles on some plays, but that's about it, you know, no armor. And those two nades let's hope that they do come in clutch, because we've seen Nays being bought by teams before, but then in the end they don't even get used, and that's always just a bit of a waste. A little bit of damage on XMS. It's a good start, but it is Heretics that decide to go for the B-bomb site instead. Get caught out now. See the engagement. XMS with that Mag 10 going for the money shots. Indeed, already has a whopping bonus right now. XMS hopping and skidding about, but he does survive. Still though, that was somewhat comedic.
Well, it gets one frag in the end on towards XMS. Luckily, of course, the Mag 10 player, so he's gained some money. He lost some money as well, and at least they can now rebuy an AK on towards him. It's going to be, of course, now a full buy from WINSTRIKE. Their first full buy on their CT side. AWP on towards the Lion, and, well, Bondik so far fragging like mad. Might be a key player to keep our eyes on as well. I'm expecting a Lion to possibly go a little bit aggressive on towards mid. I do hope so, at least, because I want to see that aggression to come out to possibly punish Heretics, because otherwise they just get too much room, and we might see the aggression right here. Lion will be flashed out. There's a player at connector. It's going to be Lackey actually being tagged, but Nickelback with the opening frag, a Lion with a follow-up, and this is what we need to see from WINSTRIKE. Not give too much respect, at least put the pressure on.
Yeah, but look at that now. They actually have bomb control. If they play this out well enough and they hold off mid completely, Bondik in the meantime also takes out XMS. They don't even have to go aggressive now. They can just completely secure mid, keep that bomb locked down, and not grant Heretics even the chance to recover that. And with Lackey here in window, the rest also, you know, Nickelback holding from connector, I think we'll see that happen, because Heretics, they realized we need to get that bomb back. But I don't think... Oh, is that going to be a run?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, it is. Here we go.
Well,
Checks, but I don't think that they're going to be able to do this successfully, although right now...
You're not believing, RJ?
Oh, no, I'm not believing in Nivera. Oh, no, shame on me. Oh, okay, fair enough. I expected there to be a tighter lockdown on mid, but apparently...
There's no need. They already have 3 frags, so why would you still contest the bomb?
And it's going to be about damage now. Granted, Heretics' chances of winning this round are quite slim, but if they can put down 2 or 3 weapons, force the rebuy coming out of WINSTRIKE, I'm not exactly sure they will try it. As we can see, they are posting up right now to just pretty much cover up their weapons. We'd had a map control attempt by Heretics being completely thwarted by WINSTRIKE's defense, with Nickelback shooting through the smoke from window. We had a Lion with the Kenya's move towards Catwalk, and he grabbed another kill. For Heretics, everything has gone to hell very quickly. Then Bondik punishing the timing of XMS in the apps. Perfect round if you're WINSTRIKE. Honestly, perfect round. You have nothing to change. You didn't make any adaptation. You didn't reveal any of your cards. You pretty much just destroyed your enemy map control. So what happens now, if you think about the decision tree of the tactics of Counter-Strike, is that if you're Heretics, are you going to be confident in your ability to play map control moving on? Because you've tried it once, you've been completely destroyed. So one of the mistakes they could do is to now direct their game towards executes, which would be the logical choice. So I would like to see Heretics just hold on a little bit here, give it a little bit of seconds at the beginning, maybe 20, 25 seconds of completely passiveness, and then take mid control once WINSTRIKE move away to the bomb sites.
And the big problem for me with the mid-take from Heretics was that they didn't really use much utility apart from the initial first flashes. And that really gave WINSTRIKE a lot of room to work with, were able to get some frags, and was nothing really to get them off their angles. Nickelback this time flashed out once more, but where's the second flash to come in when you do go for the peak? Nivera able to win the duel, but it could have gone south anyway. As you do now see Lackey still in the smoke, not to be contested. Nivera goes down to a nade from a line. This is 1 frag for Lackey. This might be a second as well, and it will be. It's once again WINSTRIKE really taking advantage from Heretics, playing sloppy on towards mid. They went for the mid control. They got it for a little brief moment, but they were easily dealt with as XMS and QC, the sole members alive on the Heretic side, are still quite split. And, well, once more, the bomb dropped at top middle. Not really working out in favor of the Frenchies.
Yeah, and it's a shame, you'd almost say, for Heretics. But right now, you know, for a moment I was maybe thinking with their very strong start on their T side that there was a chance, but WINSTRIKE now seems to be gaining back control. Of course, they did just have to suffer that 1 loss, makes it a 2v3, but Lackey here, now they are really tightly holding down that bomb. He's coming in, they go for the engagement, and they succeed. Kiyashima taken out. And XMS now last man standing with barely any HP, and that makes it relatively easy for a Lion to frag him out.
Yeah, Lackey once more with the impressive amount of work middle. We've talked about it. Yesterday it was the case as well. He was doing pretty much wonders from that catwalk position. We see him here just hanging around the smoke, biding his time. And catching up at the right time. Another problem as well for Heretics is that because their main group of attack is finding little to no success and they are not getting positive trades, it never ever opens up possibilities for the flanks. XMS and Kiyoshima, they're having such a hard time because there is no movement forced for the defense. Everyone is pretty much winning the duel, so the 1-3-1 setup is staying in position and there is no easy duel. So for Heretics, I said it, I thought I was a bit surprised to see them play middle so fast again. It almost worked out, but WINSTRIKE, they're completely in control.
Weird thing was for me that the moment they actually went for the mid control, they lost Nivera, of course, but they also left the AWP solo. Now an eco coming down from the Heretic side at least gets the AWP on towards a Lion. That's interesting to say the least. No support onto mid this time around from WINSTRIKE side. They're figuring they won't even go for the aggression there, and that might mean that we now have Heretics in a, well, slight chance to win the round. They're now grouping up, only having one player in the underpass position, one in Palace, and the other three will come via ramp, where Bondik is trying to get some control. And 4 in hand, just about spots the player in towards Palace, but still buys his time, waiting for them to finally move in. Yet the time it is ticking, and there's no utility whatsoever on the Heretic side, so they have to brute force AWP, leading the charge back and going down. Very good spray up from Bondik, that's 2. Wants to go for a third, but of course also delays with an incendiary of his own.
That's a solid delay there coming in, and also especially considering how close it is time-wise. Less than half a minute remaining, and Kiyoshima now to push him from this connector position, but that bomb is stuck behind ramp. And with only 20 seconds remaining, this is getting risky now for Heretics. You see Nickelback takes out XMS in the meantime, and now this is already lost, I'd say, because that bomb going around now, that's never going to get to the B site on time. So it's just lucky preserving the AWP.
If he can. If he can.
Lucky? Yeah, he's going to get caught out. He's running with his knife out, and he gets punished for that.
That's minus 480 damage for you. Just want to give a quick shout out to Bondik, which is playing right now a fantastic first map. He's 20-for-9, if I'm not mistaken. He's been doing a stellar job holding that A-bomb side. Not only always winning the duels, almost always winning duels versus XMS, but also stabilizing the situation as we've seen here. It had started decently for Heretics, but we have the spray control. Having 2 and then putting down the utilities the way he needed to, even adding the smoke on top of that. So good job by Bondik. 13-8. Things are getting a little bit scary if you're Heretics right now.
Just a bit. Also Bondik with that amazing ace. I'm so happy. Also, just because of the
not
fact
biased
that
opinion,
no, definitely not biased. No,
you just love aces.
I love aces. There's no reason besides. No, I'm just really happy that I finally managed to give a little bit back to the community. It's
well,
finally
it all depends. If WINSTRIKE still wins, then you won't give anything to the community.
Oh no, then I'll be running major losses. But that's a problem for later. Let's go. Let's assume that things will go fine. Anyhow, though, Kiyoshima there throws in that molly, and there's a little bit of contention coming from the Heretic side, but so far nothing just yet. Surprising lack of mid control this time, I'd say, from WINSTRIKE.
Yeah, but that's what I was talking about. Look at the radar right now. It's 1:10, and this is when Heretics are slowly but surely taking mid control. And as a result, WINSTRIKE, they've already moved their pieces away from mid. Because you start the round Mirage as a CT, and in your mind, the first 15 to 20 seconds are about mid control. That's usually when it goes down. If nothing happens, you take your resources and you put it towards the side. So now is the timing for Heretics to take mid. My problem is they're taking a little bit of time, so when they finally activate the second part of the plan, it will have to be fast and swift.
The problem we've seen before from WINSTRIKE, a Lion holding the angle on towards the catwalk, yet he moves off to flash on towards ramp. May he have missed his window? Well, not really, because they're still not moving up yet. Now he's looking under towards connector. They're moving in. It's going to be a B-split coming down from the Heretic side, and well, they don't really have the time to delay any further. Kristen with first frag. Lucky still on towards bench. Will go down to Lucky. It's going to be a 4-on-4, but Kristen still standing, dropping the bomb as well on towards the short pillar, meaning they might be in a world of trouble on the Heretic side. They have to recover. They have to get some frags. You can see it as well. WINSTRIKE still trying to delay, and they are doing it.
Oh, no.
The molly to come in. Nivera having to move through it as Maka takes down Nickelback. That's quite greedy, but he gets the plant in just in the nick of time. Player effort from the BF's already moving in line. He's just trying to wait, as it will be Bondik and the Lion to finish things off. And they now have to find a bomb, but they have all the time in the world and a 14th round for themselves.
I think it's exactly what you just said as well, Maniac. It's like the swift execution, and I was already thinking at the moment you said it, But the swift execution is where it goes wrong sometimes for Heretics. Not only for Heretics, really. A lot of teams face pressure with that, because if you've only got like 20 seconds, 25 seconds left to actually get onto the bomb site, there is so much room for error, and it's just way too much. You see Ivera had to jump over a molly, and like he lost almost all of his HP. Yeah,
the execute was for Heretics was quite interesting. You know, delayed mid take into a B. I thought they masked it pretty well. The minute they put the smoke down was when WINSTRIKE realized problem is they didn't have any time, you know, to struggle with the kills. So the same tactics with 15 seconds more, that would have been interesting.
Absolutely.
They just had to force guys now forcing their way on towards the A side. Yet XMS, the Soul member actually moving up from the initial push. And that means that's a very good spray down from Bondik, possibly going for a second ace in this match. He's already on the 4K, he's on low HP, and Lucky still standing in the palace area, hoping that he might just get a freebie by a player going a little bit too aggressive, but it seems as if, well, WINSTRIKE not really letting go at all. They're just biding their time, waiting for things to come, and, well, things to come are, of course, rounds in their favor, which seems to be once more the case. Bondik holding the angle on towards Palace might indeed go for that second ace. No, RJ, you won't be paid twice.
No, I was wondering already, you know, hoping, dreaming. But indeed, I'm afraid that will mean the 15th round coming in for WINSTRIKE now. And that will mean that we could actually be seeing a pretty decisive Mirage win so far.
And that would be quite insane for the Heretic side, as they were expecting to have maybe once more a walk in the park, as it's going to be a Lion taking down Lucky in the end. A map point now for WINSTRIKE, and look at the economy on the side of Heretics. It's not too great. Just gonna be maybe some head armorless AKs if they really want to force their way in, or maybe just Khalil's in armor with something else to work with.
Look at Bondik again. Look at the work he's been doing on that A-bomb side. I mean, this man has been a machine, an absolute force to be reckoned with. 15-8. We talked about Mirage. We talked about how interesting that was, a pick coming out from WINSTRIKE, the CIS team. But I did not expect that to be so easy. For Heretics now, just forget about the scoreline, forget about the first map. It's about finding your groove. They were out of oxygen from very early on in this first map. I'd say about 6 or 7 rounds into it, it looked like WINSTRIKE were taking control, so now they need to find some confidence. Would it come from XMS's Deagle, or will Bondik put it down as it happened many times? Of course he will. Kill number 26 for Bondik.
Yeah, well, unless he pulls off another race, he could get that 30 bomb, but I don't see that one quite happening.
Would you make more money?
Yeah, well, no. Hey, come on now. You know, I'm already very happy with my first result. Indeed, Maka goes for the spray down, can take out Nickelback. Now maybe Heretics could have a little chance here, all depending. But WINSTRIKE's hold so far still seems pretty solid. A Lion here from window could maybe provide a bit of a nasty surprise. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Always awkward when they're in the smoke together, as the Lion is standing by, wants to go for the no-scope, but Lucky is a little bit too quick in response. AWP now recovered for the set player as Mecha is trying to move towards B. There's one player standing by, Kristen going for some jump peaks, with no players actually contesting from short on the Heretic side. But look at the player at top mid from WINSTRIKE. He's doubting to go to either A or towards B, but he will be on the catwalk right now. He's still standing by, and Jill will be taken down by Kiyoshima. 4-on-2 situation. And this might just be a slight round comeback for Heretics. Yet in the grand scheme of things, Heretics is still quite far behind as they do clean up nicely. But they're still now 15-9. So many map points still remaining for WINSTRIKE.
And, you know, look at the finances for WINSTRIKE. They've also got plenty of money to buy back here. That's no problem for them whatsoever. So this is just for them. It's going to be a second chance, really. They might have just given a round to Heretics, but is that the end of the world? Maybe Heretics will get the double digits if they really played out well now, but I don't know, I think every round is now just the potential for WINSTRIKE to finish this out.
Now look at the finances for WINSTRIKE now. I mean, they have their backs against the wall. If Heretics were to win this round, we could be looking at a 15-11, 15-12 scoreline. So there's a lot riding on. Maka will open up the debates with Lackey. Good answer from the CIS sniper, Elian. 4 versus 4 now, and it's extremely tense.
They're buying their time. Molly goes in towards window. There will be a smoke to cancel it out as Nickelback actually sprays on Navera. Has a one-way apparently. And that's going to be yet another frag in favor of the CIS team. It's going to be Maka trying to move up and open up things once more, but they know on the WINSTRIKE side there will be the AWP. So long angles, not to be contested, most likely apart by Lion, as he's still moving around, going in towards CT. And I think Mecha, he might have been spotted, and he must have been now, but he will still get the frag on towards Nickelback, apparently focusing on towards the apps. Now back to an equal score, and where will Heretics actually commit? Will it be either A? Will it be B? Well, first they have to recover the bomb quite deep in towards the T apps.
Yeah, and I'm afraid, you know, for Heretics, if they have to contest it with a line, I think his hold from CT should be solid enough, but I do wonder what he's going to do once they, well, oh no, actually I was going to say once they throw that smoke, but, or,
Ooh, look at the radar,
Heretics,
look at Bondik, he's going to be the man. He's going to move once more, but he's been spotted, and now he's between a rock and a hard play. He's going to get taken down by Kiyoshima. His aggression this time not paying off, but with 30 seconds, do Heretics have time to double back? I don't think they do.
But look at the micro as well. They're now swapping over the AWP in favor of Kiyoshima as a line. He's sending a passive angle. Of course, being able to dodge it out with the box as well. Yeah, gets the first frag. This bomb now dropped. 15 seconds left. And they need to get this kill. They need to get it fast, but they're not committing. It's going to be Alliance still standing by as Kristen takes down Lucky, but 10 seconds remain. It's going to be Maka committing on the plant, or actually going for the fake. Gets a headshot as well through the wall. And that's 15-10. Heretics doing it so far. And as you said, the money is done for WINSTRIKE. They have to go on an eco. And this might just be that 15-11.
Imagine now Heretics pushing this so close that we could see overtime. I think that's still a bit precarious, though, to call that now, because there's still quite a lot of rounds to catch up on for Heretics.
Yeah, I still say though, 15-10 with a financial situation like WINSTRIKE is a decisively close scoreline actually, because these are maximum 2 to 3 gun rounds you'll play. They have no money now. 15-11 would be the next buy, then it would be on to 13. So there's still pressure, but speaking of pressure, it's Krisen leading the charge with the 5.7, was my most favorite weapon in 1985. That was really good back then. Ever since it's fallen up a little bit, but it's great to see it picked up again. Kiyoshima will best him. 5v4, so far so good for Heretics.
It's a good start for them. Lucky and Kiyoshima indeed tagged up just a little bit. Nickelback now circling around, going for that market position in the meantime. WINSTRIKE still playing it quite defensively, I'd say. You know, they are holding onto their sights, hoping that with their pistols they can just deal some damage. That's the best they can hope for. Maybe recover a weapon here or there, but I think that would already be quite assuming, quite bold.
Ooh, Kiyoshima just going off the angle at the wrong time. But look at this B stack. All 4 players from the WINSTRIKE side actually moving towards the side.
Okay.
Kiyoshima figures he just uses utility the moment like he does go for the push. That's the AK recovered. It's something. And now Heretics has to move fast. Either go towards A or go towards B, and they make the right choice. Yet they're moving through connector, and Nickelback, he's standing by, tries to tap around. That's a frag on towards a bomb as well. It's going to be Bondik with a follow-up on towards Lucky. Maka will get 2 in return, leaving only Nickelback alive in 1v2. He will be pushed out by Navera, and that's luckily a frag in return. But it could have been once more a round for a WINSTRIKE, and it would have been an eco win.
Our faces when we realized the bomb is down connector with 31 seconds. Not like this.
But indeed, Nickelback there in the end, he couldn't really finish that out. But now we do see that buy coming in from WINSTRIKE. And question being, is this going to be the buy where they finish it off? Or is it going to be Heretics that now can provide, or well, keep on that relentless assault and not give WINSTRIKE a chance anymore?
It's going to be hard. Very hard for WINSTRIKE. Of course, knowing the momentum has been taken out of their hands. There will be the AWP on towards Lackey at this moment in time. You dare to say you drop it over to a Lion sooner rather than later, but they're at least now also taking the time to talk things over. Tactical timeout coming down from the WINSTRIKE members, because they know if they lose this one, most likely pistol armor. Then buy again at 15-13. That's not really the best outcome for yourself.
They are still in control. They're still in a favorable place. I just wanted to make the point that things are closer than they seem.
Yeah,
it could still be a 16-11, and if so, we talk about WINSTRIKE being very controlling and dominating on the map. But Heretics, if they show up, if they warm up, we would still have a game on our hands. Overtime is not that far away. These are only 4 rounds. 2 of them would be full gun rounds, so the road is still long ahead for Heretics, but not impossible.
I think, you know, what you make a very solid point, though. Indeed, people can easily assume like, oh, but it's still so many rounds. But you don't think about that fact. You know, everyone has that long-term insight of, oh yeah, but see if they lose this round now, you're gonna have the next. Because once again, look at WINSTRIKE's buy. Indeed, you know, they've got a good buy down. Bit of lacking on utility, though, I'd say. But if they lose this now, they won't have anything to really work with in the next round.
The The mid pressure coming down from the WINSTRIKE members, slowly moving up, and Lecky standing by for the flashbang to pop. The flashbang will go, and they're not really spotting him, and he's still trying to contest. Now, of course, as Maniac said, the first few 10-20 seconds have now passed. There's no real contest coming down from WINSTRIKE. Just maybe put your AWP in towards window, and the moment that one gets flashed out or smoked away, you just fall back. And there's no real reason to aggress at this moment. You see Heretics actually respecting the pressure that WINSTRIKE put on earlier on towards mid, and that slows them down massively. Whereas in the previous round, sometimes that sheer aggression from Heretics, it could work.
And we'll see now, well, if any of that really gets applied, because it doesn't quite look like it. It's a bit of a slow play once again, I suppose, coming out from Heretics. Now, though, they do vie for that mid control, and on the looks of it, they will also get it in their hands. A line here, though. Depending on the utility used, there is that smoke coming in, so doesn't really have opportunity for frags. That nade tags up a little bit. Lucky, Nivera, damage done.
And so they are waiting. They're going for this A take with 4 players from Connector, 1 in Palace. That's going to be hard because there's still a player in towards Shadow. There's still a player on towards side, but now Lucky has the first frag on towards Nickelback. The player on side, well, still not contested, so that might be worrisome later on. And the bomb once more drop. Look at the time. 10 seconds left. They have to recover. Still the player on side. And that player might just be a little bit blindsided by the bomb plan to come in. Grison takes down Navera, but it will be Maka with refrag on towards the player from short. Now there's only 3 members on either side. Bondik almost takes a kill towards XMS, but he's not able to commit. It's going to be XMS on low HP, but still a favorable position until Maka goes down. The AWP to be dropped, but Kiyoshima still in jungle. Bomb planted for his position, and XMS, he feels as if he has to go for the peak. Playing on contact of his teammate, will be traded out. But look at the time. Lecky, he's going for the stick, but he doesn't have the defuse kit. He could have bought one possibly. And he's still,
it's gonna work.
No, Kiyoshima!
Oh,
no! How can you... Oh, no. That is just unbelievable. I mean, deserved by WINSTRIKE. What was he just doing there? He must have realized, not hearing anything now for a few seconds. Could maybe have a look.